If you ever wanted to play a creature from the Feywild, now you can.
Join us as we review the latest Unearthed Arcana, Folk of the Feywild.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds.
Now let us plunge into the Feywild as we explore this Unearthed Arcana.
All right, so we got another Unearthed Arcana. Last month we got one that gave us Gothic lineages. And also, there's been some changes on the way Wizards of the Coast is going to be doing things when it comes to stats and languages and proficiencies. That kind of got touched on in Tasha's Cauldron to everything as optional rules, but it looks like they're not really going to be so optional anymore. They want to make it a core part of the game. So if you want to see our opinions on that, as well as the Gothic lineages, we'll have a link for that at the end of the video that you can go check that out as well. So for this one, we're going to just go into the Folk of the Feywild.
So we're going from more of a creepy vibe into, a more whimsical fantasy. We get, a handful of new options. Gothic lineages is something that you can go check out over on D&D Beyond for free. And, if when you go over there, if the Folk of the Feywild isn't there in the Unearthed Arcana stuff, it will be soon enough.
Yeah, with that, it's only fair that we mention D&D Beyond is a sponsor of the channel. Hopefully, we'll be able to link directly to those races down in the description. It just depends on how fast they get them up. So you'll be able to go check that out. And we just want to thank them for sponsoring this video. D&D Beyond's a great resource for building your encounters, making your characters, or just looking up anything from the official Wizards of the Coast materials. Go check it out. Links are in the description.
All right, so with this Unearthed Arcana, we're going to get 4 new races. We're talking about the Fairy, the Hobgoblin of the Feywild, Owlfolk, and Rabbitfolk. So, very, very, fantasy, very whimsical, themed races. Definitely a lot of fun, a lot of options to play.
Yeah, which one are you folks most excited to be able to play? Which one have you been waiting for? I don't remember having a Rabbitfolk type character in D&D in the past. I mean, there might be. It seems like we've had every version of anamorphic creature there could possibly be. But which one excites you the most? Let us know down in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those things that make YouTube happy. Like, share, subscribe, even attune to that notification bell.
Hey, as a quick reminder, remember, we drop new videos over on the Nerdarchy YouTube channel here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so come on back and see what's new.
So we're going to jump to page 2 since we already talked about all the intro stuff, and you've already got our opinions from the Gothic lineages. So Dave, take it away on Fairy.
All right, Fairy. The Feywild is home to many fantastic peoples, including fairies. Fairies are wee folk, but not nearly as much so as their pixie and sprite friends. Infused with the magic of the Feywild, fairies share a few commonalities with one another, but can differ widely in appearance, behavior, and attitude. Many fairies have special physical characteristics that sets them apart from other creatures of their kind. Your fairy, roll on the Fey characteristic table or choose an option from it. The Feywild is a wild place, so come up with your own characteristics. None of these fit your character, and we get a D8, we get a table. We love these tables. You have small wings like those of an insect. You have shimmering multicolored skin. You have exceptionally large ears. A constant glittering mist surrounds you. You have a small spectral horn on your forehead, like a little unicorn horn. Your hands never look dirty. You smell like fresh brownies. A noticeable harmless chill surrounds you. Hey, you know what? Pick one, roll for one, make them up. Maybe you even have more than one. Why not? With that, we're going to get into the fairy traits themselves. So starting off with creature type, you are a Fey.
You're a Fey, you're small, you have a walking speed of 30. You have a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover. And if your characteristic didn't include wings, your flight is magical and, doesn't necessarily need the wings to actually make it happen. It's pretty cool. You get fairy magic, the druidcraft and fairy fire spells. You can cast fairy fire without expending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you can do it again. But you can cast the spell using a spell slot if you have them. And then you get to choose the spellcasting ability for those spells, whether it be intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. And you have Fey Passage. You can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide.
Yeah, so your character is made. You're like you're kind of like an ooze or something, right? Like you can just like goo through a keyhole essentially under a door. I'm curious to see what players do with that feature. Also, our DM's going to allow fairies in their game because I know there's plenty of DMs that do not like flight at all. And you're also getting some spell-like abilities, Druidcraft, which whatever, cantrip, not a big deal. Fairy Fire is a pretty sweet spell to get added to your spell list. So if you're a caster, you get it added, and even if you're not, you still have it once per day. So I like the suite of abilities. I think this is going to be a really popular race for characters.
My only issue with this one, and it's super slim, we don't care about flight in our games. We've already talked about it numerous times in past videos, so I won't get into it here, is I know the concept of a fey creature, spans a lot of different, options. I would have loved this to be, you've got a flight version and a not flight version, but have everything else be the same so that there's something to kind of trade out. One, for the DMs who don't like flight, here is an option that you can play with. And if you want to go with, just another variation, because the Fae are just so widespread in abilities, not every Fae has to fly. So that, it's like I said, really small. I would probably, be very interested in playing one of these guys and looking to trade my flight out for something else if a DM would allow me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good opportunity for a fairy subrace. Maybe you're more like a brownie or a leprechaun instead of a pixie or a sprite. It's a good point.
So, Hobgoblin of the Feywild. Hobgoblins trace their origins to the Feywild, where they first appeared with their goblins and bugbear kin. That history has left its mark though hobgoblins are found throughout the material plane, they continue to channel an aspect of the Feywild's rule of reciprocity, which creates a mystical bond between the giver and the receiver of a gift. On some worlds, such bond leads hobgoblins to form communities with deep ties to each other. In the Forgotten Realms, vast hobgoblin legions have emerged with ranks upon ranks of devoted soldiers, noteworthy for how effective they are at fighting as a unit. Hobgoblins are generally taller than their goblin cousins, but not quite as big as bugbears. They have curved, pointed ears and noses that turn red or blue during displays of emotion.
So they have a creature type of humanoid. Their size is medium. Speed is 30 feet. They get dark vision. They have a Fey ancestry. You have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end charmed condition on yourself. Fey gift, you can use this trait to take the help action as a bonus action, and you can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Starting at 3rd level, choose one of the options below each time you take the help action, whether as a bonus action or an action. Hospitality, you and the target of your help action gain a number of temporary hit points equal to a die 6 plus your proficiency bonus. Passage, you and the target of your help action each increase your walking speeds by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Spite, until the start of your next turn, the first time you or the target of your help action hits a creature with an attack roll, the creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll that it makes within the next minute. Fortune from the many. If you miss with an attack roll or fail an ability check or a saving throw, you can draw on your bonds of reciprocity, which I'm totally butchering that. Sorry, folks. I don't know how to talk. Of allies, you can see within 30 feet of you, maximum bonus of +5. You can use this trait a number of times equal to the proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. There's a lot here. I don't know why we're redoing Hobgoblin and making it a Fey creature. Like, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a very long time, and I don't remember any mentions of a connection between the Feywild and Fey creatures at all, or the realms of fairy with goblins before this point. Now, fairy tale wise, yes, I understand. Folklore, yes, I understand, but not in the sense of D&D. So this is very specific, and it makes me wonder, along with these other critters, are we angling for something very specific with an upcoming product? And, why are we getting this different version of Hobgoblin, of goblinoids that are Fey inspired, is there a Magic the Gathering that corresponds with that? Is kind of the question I have in my mind.
So that was one of the angles that I was going to bring up is, anytime that there is a deviation from what, we grognards refer to, as the norm, it makes me wonder as to, what kind of thing is this leaning towards? We've already learned that the Unearthed Arcana always leads to what is the product that they're working on next? What is this linked to? We know that the Gothic lineages was attached to the Ravenloft book. So it's been a while since Theros came out. It is entirely possible that another Magic the Gathering book is coming out, or maybe something just completely, Fey related. And, obviously something it is because this is all Fey. So to take a different take for goblins and goblinoids, hobgoblins and goblinoids, I should say, could be a very interesting take and a deviation from, what we're used to seeing. Even the thing about, their noses changing color when they're displaying emotions, like, all right, that seems an odd sentence to say. What does
Oddly
that mean?
specific.
Yes, oddly specific, but
Yeah.
to tie in of like, okay, I can understand, like humanoids, we blush, or humans, we blush and we turn red in the cold and what have you. But, to have a color changing nose based off of, emotion, are we trying to make a Rudolph reference here somewhere? I don't know what's going on.
I don't think so. I think it's interesting, but also too, like we know that cultural bonuses and that apply to mechanics they're stripping out, and they've done that with the Hobgoblin, and instead they get Fey ancestry and the Fey gift, and the Fey gift is really cool. Like, what? Like I know, like I hear, like you and Doug a lot of times are like, you should do the help action, and I'm like, usually that is one of the worst options you have available to you because really you're literally just trading your action for another die roll. And like if you're a character that maybe gets extra attacks, so you're literally trading 2 attacks for 1 extra die roll. There are very specific instances where it might be useful, but here you're taking that help action and you're able to do it as a bonus action. Super useful, super cool. And then once you hit 3rd level, you've got these other cool things that you can do in conjunction with it, so it's even better. And also, you could actually use the help action twice in the same round, based off of this hobgoblin.
That is entirely true. So who knows? We'll see how this winds up, playing out, and what the what the fans say, when they fill out their surveys in regards to these cool things.
All right. So next up, we got Owlfolk, distant kin of giant owls. Owlfolk come in many shapes and sizes, from petite and fluffy to wide-winged and majestic. Owlfolk have arms and legs like other humanoids, as well as wings that extend from their back and shoulders. Because of their ancestral tie to the Feywild, Owlfolk can innately see the magic of their surroundings. Like owls, Owlfolk are graceful with feathers that make no sound when they move or fly, making it easy for them to sneak up on you in the library. Your Owlfolk character might be nocturnal, or perhaps your character is simply prone to rise later, embodying the common nickname of a night owl.
So, a lot of fun things. They're clearly working mechanics into, these kinds of descriptions once you get into their traits. You are humanoid. You are medium or small. You get to choose your size when you begin as this race. You have a walking speed of 30. You have dark vision out to 90 feet. You can discern colors in shades of gray. You have magic sight. Your keen senses can focus to see the presence of magic. You gain the ability to cast a detect magic spell, but only as a ritual. The spellcasting ability is of your choice: intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. You can cast the spell normally with any spell slots you already have. Nimble flight. Thanks to your wings, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. When you fall, you can use your reaction to make a dexterity saving throw DC 10 to stop falling and fly in place until the start of your next turn. Silent feathers. You have proficiency in the stealth skill.
The nimble flight is weird to me, that the fact that they built in a mechanic to stop from falling, because
I was going to call that out myself.
I played with enough DMs that would not even think about it. Like, you're falling, you have wings, you're not, right? like that's kind of like the normal. You called out the fact that they're working mechanics into the description, and I'm like, well, you guys went through all this trouble to strip the mechanics out. Like, they're nimble. Are they really? What makes them so nimble? um you know so uh and they also get proficiency with the stealth, which, I mean, being sneaky, that's completely different. So I find it odd to even mention the fact that they might be nimble or dexterous, right? Yet they don't technically get a bonus to dex, because unless that's where you decide to put one of your bonuses. So yeah.
So it is definitely odd, given the direction. The writing is kind of crisscrossing with the concepts of what's there. All in all,
Decide what you want, guys. Decide what you want.
all in all, I like it. I would just say that you've got a flying speed. End of story.
Yeah, I agree. I like the magic site. I like everything here for the Elfolk, and it's like, okay, we get another version of the Aarakocra. Will we get some more versions of the Aarakocra? What will they do differently? Because honestly, the Aarakocra itself is kind of weak sauce. I mean, they just get flight. After that, there's nothing really going on. I mean, I guess if you're into their talons, but
right.
A die 4 natural attack is not that impressive to me either.
I would agree. So into Rabbitfolk. Bounding across the wilds, Rabbitfolk from the Feywild embody a spirit of freedom and travel. Rabbitfolk are bipedal with the characteristic long feet of the animal they resemble and fur in a variety of colors. They share the keen senses and powerful legs of leoprine creatures and are full of energy like a wound-up spring. Rabbitfolk are blessed with a little fey luck and often find themselves a few fortunate feet away from dangers during their adventures.
So Rabbitfolk traits. Creature type, you're humanoid. Your size is medium or small. You get to choose. Walking speed is 30 feet. Hair trigger, you add your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls. Leoprine senses, you have proficiency in the perception skill. Lucky footwork, when you fail a dexterity saving throw, you can use your reaction to roll a d4 and add it to the result, and potentially turning a failure into success. Rabbit hop. Once during each of your turns, when you walk at least 5 feet, you can hop, rolling a d12 and moving that many feet in the direction of your choice. This extra distance doesn't cost movement, but you can only hop if your speed isn't 0. So it's kind of cool. Like, I like these abilities, but before we discuss the traits themselves, how many Rabbitfolk samurai can we look forward to in our games now?
Totally gonna happen. Yeah.
Like a party of 5, you're gonna need 4 turtle, or maybe a party of 6. We don't have a Ratfolk, but we could really use one now. And we're gonna have a Rabbitfolk and 4 turtles.
Oh man, it looks like TMNT is on the rise. Looking at this, Yosagi Yojimbo could totally happen. I love mechanically that they've got some interesting things working here. I love the proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls. I love the rabbit hop and the lucky footwork. They're fun things that are going to be in there. Your jumping distance, type character. When you start adding in the rabbit hop, you could have some really, crazy jumping characters, especially if you make this be a, barbarian of the Path of the Beast. You could really get some craziness going on. I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would work. Are you jumping twice in a round, or is it just? Can I add it all together?
I would say you add it all together. Yes. That's where my mind went. Yeah. So lucky footwork. That's kind of nice. If you miss a saving throw and you're close, you can drop that D4. It also makes like bless so much better now too, because you're gonna get so much closer even if you roll poorly.
Now the thing that I like about this and don't like about it is there are some GMs who will they just straight up tell you, okay, you got to make a DC 17 blah 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 check. Other DMs are like, make a saving throw. So it's like, is it worth using your reaction if there are other things that that your reaction might be useful for? Because I hate a wasted resource. I don't know whether that's the power gamer in me or whether that's just like everybody out there. But it's like, all right, I can do this, but I only get one reaction because it doesn't say like. You get a limited number of times. When you fail a dex save, you can just try and turn it into a success. So, like, If you've got nothing to do with your reaction, no problem. Do it all day long. If you do, though, it's like, well, do I save it in case I want to counterspell or, something else? There's definitely thought patterns, here.
So, do you have a favorite amongst the four?
Of the four, I gotta go with Rabbitfolk, and it's not because of Yosaki Yojimbo. I just mechanically, I like the Rabbitfolk conceptually. The fact that you can be, size small or medium. I want to play Thumper, or I want to play, this, or I want to play that. I see this boundful energy just, jumping along, going from here to there. That's the one that I would play. How about you?
I think mechanically, I like the Hobgoblin, to be honest with you. I like the Fey Gift. I think that's a kind of a cool ability. It's especially if you play something that doesn't normally get to use a bonus action that much. It would be super useful. Think about the Barbarian. You could actually help an ally and also make yourself even tankier or more mobile. Or with that spite ability, you can offset reckless attack a little bit. So yeah. I think there's some fun things to do. Oh no, I think they all have some like cool, unique, fun things that can be done with them. It's definitely going to add some concepts to the game that weren't there for people to explore.
I 100% agree. I'd love to hear from you guys what you all feel as to what is your favorite. What did they get right? What did they get wrong? Let us know. Happy to hear about it.
Yeah, and if you want to check out our Unearthed Arcana review, Gothic D&D Lineages, we've mentioned them before, so we'll put the link up for those.
And if you'd like to help support us to keep making videos like these, then why not support us over on Patreon?
As a thank you, you'll receive monthly 5e content for players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.